Maxie, we're
Nick.
here, man. We are here. It took you, 3 hours to get here?
Oh, mate, look, there was a big car crash on the way here. I live on the Central Coast, so getting here, it takes about an hour and 20 minutes to begin with. And there was a huge crash. So someone drove down the wrong side of the freeway, and you wouldn't read about it, but there was obviously a big crash. It took me over 3 hours to get here, so I'm a little bit car sick. But I'm ready to rumble, baby. Let me tell you. And I'll tell you a quick, John Dory. I'm halfway right on the way, and it's bumper to bumper traffic. The cars aren't even moving. And I drink a lot of water, so I need to go to the toilet all the time. So I need to do a piss. And I'm thinking, I'm in a bit of bunny here. I'm in a bit of trouble. I need to go to the toilet. And I'm on the phone to my mate, believe it or not. Obviously, I wasn't driving and calling, but my mate goes, just go in a bottle. I said, I don't just have a bottle. He goes, you used a bag of chips. I said, well, I don't have a bag of chips either. He goes, well, you're going to have to pull over. And I said, fucking how good's this? So I'm looking on the side of the road thinking, I'm going to be sitting here doing a piss as every car's driving past. And anyways, I end up just waiting, getting the job done. And look, I'm here. So I'm ready to go.
Question I asked you before. Were you recording when you were pissing on
Oh,
side
yeah,
road?
I was. It was that ready to explode. I'll tell you what, I can't, if I was to compare it to anything, you'd have to beep it out. So I'm glad I got it out.
Did anyone say anything? Or
Oh, no one said anything. Well, if they asked me what I was doing, I'd say, I'm obviously playing tennis. What do you think I'm doing?
Man, I was going through your social media and I told you I went all the way down
Yeah.
to your first post and the life that you lived prior to the
Yeah.
Max beer that's here
Yeah,
today.
that's right.
Party animal, mate. Always out with the boys,
Loved it,
drinking.
brother. I was big on that.
I don't think you ever had a shirt on.
Never. No, I don't even think I owned one, to be honest with you. So,
I found a model photo too.
Yeah. Give me a look. I know the one you're going to show me, mate. People send me this one all the time.
Look at this one.
You'll have to show that to the viewers at home, but I'll tell you what.
What's all that about, mate?
Oh, well, mate, in all honesty, it was a random modelling shoot, but I want to go back to that. Look, I always was around the boys, I was a boy's boy. I'm still a boy's boy, but I was someone that I could never really sit within myself. I always had to be out and about, you know what I mean? I had to be around people. I couldn't just do anything alone, and I've got a big circle of friends. I still do, but, obviously we'll touch on it. I can sit with myself now, and I'm happy within my own company, but, you're exactly right. I was a big party animal. I used to run amok, and I've come leaps and bounds from the person that I was. I'm a different person. I'm still the same person, but the growth within myself, honestly, Nick, I can sit here and say this is, I wake up, I'm proud of the man I am. I'm proud of the man I come, but it's all part of the journey. You know what I mean? Everyone grows, and I'm just happy with, some people obviously aren't happy with their growth they've had, but I couldn't be happier with the person that I've become from the person that I was, and I wasn't a bad person, but just within myself, I found a deeper meaning within myself, man, and I sit happy and content,
And I tell you what remained the same that whole time, and I mentioned it before.
Yeah,
is
that's right.
That big, beautiful smile of yours, bro.
Yeah, that's right. Well, man, I've always been someone, brother. I love to smile. I love to laugh. I always have, Sitting here, I've always been someone that's had a joking side, always full of energy. But then, because that's the way that my dad was. But then I've also had this big heart as well. And whereas I never could blend them together. I'd either be joking or I'd either be serious, have this melting heart, But now I've learned to sort of combine them together. But man, I love to smile. I love to laugh, and I think more people should, you know what I mean? We go and pay $20 for a nice feed or a massage because it makes us feel good. I could sit here and smile like this and it's free. And then I can do it again and it still doesn't even cost me anything. I could go and get 2 massages. It cost me $200. You know what I mean? You do the math.
How do you keep a smile on your dog? After everything you've gone through, people are struggling each and every day. And yeah, as you said, a smile is free, but people still find it hard to put a smile on their dog.
Well, it's so true, bro. Well, it's your mindset, and your mind, your brain is the most powerful tool in the body. You can control your thoughts and your feelings, And I look at it like this. Everyone's got something negative in which you can focus on in your life. Whether you need to get your car fixed, you need to pay for your rego, you need to got your upcoming rent, you just argue with your missus, you just got coffee on your shirt, whatever it may be. But we've all got good stuff going on in our life as well. And you can be grateful for the small things. And the things that we maybe take for granted. You can breathe, you can walk, you can talk, you can use your hands. I've got a car, I've got a mum, I've got a dad, whatever you've got, you know what I mean? You've got a phone, the small things. And you just choose what you focus on. And if you sit here and go, I got to pay my rego, you'll probably sit here, or I spilled coffee on my shirt, that can ruin your whole day. It could even ruin your whole month. But if you go, and I tell people to write down in your list of notes all the things you're grateful for and things in your life that are going good. And then I just focus on that. because we've all got that bad stuff. We all do. So you get to choose what you focus on. If you focus on the negatives, you have a bad day. If you sit here and go, fuck, I'm alive. I can breathe, talk, walk, sit here, have a laugh, and I can smile. I'm going to then have a good day. And that's what keeps a smile on my face.
That's it. We're blessed every day to wake up on this earth, right?
We really are. Well, mate, look, you obviously did a podcast with Russell, which was one of the main reasons I wanted to come here. Obviously, God rest his soul. But he talked very highly of you, you know, and let me tell you, coming here with the setup you've got, man, I love it. You know what I mean? It's awesome. But, yeah, I had memories obviously flash through.
I can actually feel like a presence in this room. Like I actually just got goosebumps. I'm like, holy fuck.
Yeah, well, you know, Russell was, man, he was one of a kind. You know, we were very similar in ways, but we were very different in ways as well. But he was a friend, and I go back to the fact of having good friends. I've always had a lot of friends, heaps of friends, and I still do. But my dad always said to me, you need a friend like you, you know, and I'm not pumping up my own tires, but I'm being honest. I am very loyal. I care about my mates. I do anything for them, and I'm a positive person. You'll never hear me say a bad word about one of my mates, because if I do, they're not my mate, and I won't talk to them. I'm real like that. Russell was the exact same. We were two peas in a pod in the way that he used to say this, if you're doing well, I've got the pom-poms out, and I'm the same thing. And that pom-poms out, it's so true. When he said it, I used to laugh, but I look back at it now and reflect, that's so true. You know, when there's a rugby league team playing or a sporting team playing, they've got their cheerleaders on the side because they're cheering them on.
We got our cheerleader right here.
We've got a cheerleader, Katarina's here on the side, you know, and it's so true. You know, she's got great energy as well. And I surround myself with good energy. I'm a big believer, Nick, in energy breeds energy, you know, and there are negative people out there. And I've got some friends that they might call me. And if I've got a friend that calls me, oh, I hate my job, or I wake up, oh my God, what about this? Oh, Mrs. is doing, mate. And every morning I'll say, look, I'll be honest with you, I love you, mate, but you're too negative. I'll say, give me a call when you've got something positive to say. You know, because if you sit there and if you sit at a table with 10 negative people, and I could be the happiest bloke in the world, which is what Russell, before we actually necessarily really got to know each other, just from him knowing me, that's what he captioned in the podcast. If I sit at a table with 10 negative people and I'm a very positive person, my energy is my energy, I'll end up being negative, because energy breeds energy. But if I go and sit at a table with 10 positive people, or if I'm a negative person, which I'm not, or just say Johnny Smith is, they go to a positive table, 10 of myself or whatever, I promise you, you'll leave there feeling positive. So when I say energy breeds energy, you can choose it on who you hang around, and that can help with your thoughts, feelings, and emotion, and in how you feel.
And coming back to that smile of yours, right? Every time I see it, I feel like it's little Beery shining through. Like what were you like as a kid, man?
Brother, I want to tell you something. When you say that, my mum, when I was in a dark place, my mum actually said to me, she goes, "Where's little Maxie?" I said, "I'm here, Mum." She goes, "You're not here." And bro, again, she goes, "Where's little Maxie?" And that's what she called it, because I always had that smile. I said, "I'm here, Mum." She goes, "You're not." And then when I realized the moment that it wasn't little Maxie, all right, and I went and did I went and did a lot of work on myself. And I remember when I left, I went to rehab, and I actually said to her, I said, "Little Maxie's back." She said she can see that, you know. So what was the question you want me to?
Who was little Maxie? What were you like, man?
Man, honestly, bubbly, outgoing, a lot of friends, you know what I mean? Loud, funny, you know, positive. But I was as mad as a cut snake. My dad is as mad as a cut snake. He was an old Aussie knockabout criminal, and my dad was just a beautiful little mouldy Kiwi girl from the farm, a place called Kaitai. They call it the Naughty North. You know, and she come over here and she met my dad, you know, just to sort of get away from that. But she was a beautiful, innocent, lovely lady that sort of was thrilled by that colourful lifestyle, you know. And growing up, I love life, you know, and I went to a good school. I was lucky enough to get a rugby scholarship to a school called St. Joseph's College, and I had heaps of friends. And I was just all sports, you know. I was all sports, but I had this sort of bit of a violent side to me as well, because growing up, my dad was a boxer, my pop was a boxer, so I love to fight, you know, and I don't condone it, because I've come leaps and bounds. This is something I talk about, but I was very funny, but then again, I could always go out and get in a fight. So I'd be in a position when I was younger, and anyone that knows me when I was younger, they'd be like, fuck, we got to bring Beery, you know what I mean? Like, but he's a bit of a hothead, and I really was, you know, but I've grown out of that now, which we'll obviously get to.
Were you an angry kid?
I wasn't an angry kid, man. I used these in the wrong way, you know?
Why did you want to use them in that way, though?
Because I thought that was what was cool. You know, that's what I saw. My dad was a standover man, and I've got stories where I saw a lot of violence. Growing up, I saw heaps of violence, heaps of standovers, heaps of violence towards my dad, some pretty nasty scenarios and situations. And to me, that was what was normal. you know, sort of monkey see, monkey do. You know, I saw him having a laugh, but then I saw that violent side to him, you know, and he'd always tell me, don't do this or don't do that. But I'd say, Dad, you're doing it. You're doing it in front of me, you know, and obviously there's no guide to parenting, you know, but when I have kids, which I don't at the moment, it'll probably be something that I'll do differently, you know.
And your dad was your idol growing up?
My dad was my idol. My dad was look, I'm actually I was best mate with my dad, best mate with my mum. I'm very, very close with them both. But I have the exact same personality as my dad, but I look exactly like my mum.
Yeah, okay. What are some of the lessons? Because who we are as a person,
Yeah.
it stems from our childhood and the
does,
lessons and the pivotal moments that our parents have instilled in us, right?
Absolutely.
What are some of those that you've gotten from your parents that have made you into the man that sits in front of us today?
Well, I guess confidence. The bubbly personality is what my dad have. You know, I go in a room and I believe I've got a rare energy. I really, really do. You know, they said it at my dad's funeral, 1 in a billion, and it stuck by that. I think I've got the same thing, you know, but some lessons, I guess, look, it comes from my growth. You know, a lesson that I took was I used to go about things the wrong way. I never knew how to communicate. I knew how to have a laugh, but I never knew how to cry. I never knew how to open up. I used to bottle things in. I used to have a big mask on my face. Everything was always perfect, you know what I mean? But the truth is no one's life's ever perfect, you know, and I used to make a joke out of everything. But now 10 years ago, if you had to ask me how I'm going on a bad day, I'll say I'm going good. But just say now, which I'm not, you say, how you going, Beery? And I'm not having a good day. I said, I'm a little bit stressed. This is what's going on. This is how I feel, rather than having that mask. So the lessons that I would do, giving myself some advice to my younger self, would be to get rid of that mask, to be real, to be raw, to be vulnerable. You don't have to be a tough guy. Just be a good guy. I say don't be a tough cunt, be a good cunt. And that's what I pride myself on.
That mask you talk of.
Yeah.
Why'd you wear it, bro? Was it to feel like, oh, I'm tough, so I can't show my feelings?
It was just normal. You know, it wasn't, I didn't wear it for a particular reason because that's just what I saw. I saw my dad having a joke, but I never saw him cry. I would never, ever see my dad cry. So that's all I knew.
Yeah, because when you see people like yourself with your energy, the bubbly ones.
That's right.
And I know your best mate Jason was the same, right?
That's exactly
and
right.
usually they're the ones that are hurting inside.
That's exactly
so
right.
that's why I'm very curious, like, was it some sort of coping mechanism for you to be that bubbly person to hide what was going on inside?
Well, I guess it was. And I guess a lot of people will be able to relate to this. You know, people are scared of the fear of judgment, you know, or thinking, oh, he's crying or he's having a bad day. Or, you know, people that put photos on social media of them in a relationship with their partner, they're a perfect couple because they think that they've got their label. But behind closed doors, just be yourself. The moment that I got to be able to sit within myself and the true person that I am was the best day of my life because I cry. We all bleed the same blood. Do you know what I mean? We all have good days and we all have bad days, you know? And if I bottle it up when I'm having a bad day, I look at it as a fizzy drink. It's going to explode in the wrong way. And to me, that wasn't through my gambling, partying, violence, or whatever it may be. But now if I'm having a bad day or something goes wrong, I call someone. Or if I need to cry, I don't bottle it in. If I need to sit here and cry now, I'll cry. Because if I don't do that, I'll probably leave and at some stage, sooner or later, it'll be released. And that could be in the wrong way. So I'm very in tune and I live in the moment.
And I'm curious, do you ever slow down?
No, I'm very fast paced. I'm very, very fast paced. But you know what? I'm like an old man of an evening. When it becomes to 8 o'clock, I'll tell you what, mate. It's like the handbrake goes up, above and beyond. And that's when I wind down. I need to get a good night's sleep because I wake up early too and I'm ready to rumble from the get-go.
So you mentioned, you know, fear of judgment, and that kind of correlates a lot with anxiety, right?
Absolutely.
For me, I experienced a lot of anxiety because it was that fear of judgment or what are these people going to think of me if I say something? You know, I'm going into a new environment. What happens if something goes down? Where's all the exits? All this kind of shit, right?
That's right.
Like you're hyper-analyzing everything.
You do.
And I used to see it as such a negative thing, but it's actually a positive, right? For you, how have you learnt to build a relationship with anxiety, and what does anxiety mean to you?
Anxiety, I went through a stage where I used to struggle. I used to get really, really anxious, and it was an emotion that I actually never knew what it was. I used to say, oh, he's anxious or she's anxious, but everyone gets anxiety in one way or another. And look, if you let anxiety control you, it will defeat you, you know? And I said this on a podcast with Russell, when you first get anxiety, you feel like, I can't go to the shops, and you just sit there and you're like, I can't go, you won't end up going, the anxiety wins. But if you talk to that, because I look at it as there's a bird. There's a positive bird on your shoulder and there's a negative one. If you let that negative bird like defeat you with the anxiety, think, oh, I can't go, you won't go. But if you talk to that positive bird, go, fuck, I'm getting up and I'm going to go to the shop. You can beat it. You know, I used to have this job when after I lost my dad and I was in a really, really dark place. I used to get anxious really, really badly. And I would go to my job and I sort of got a job in recruitment because my brother had his own recruitment agency. And when I went to the job, I didn't know what I was doing. All right. And I was in a bit of a dark place, but I needed to work because I'm like, I need structure. I'd go to the job and I'd go to an interview and then I got anxious that I don't know what I'm doing. So I'd build this stuff up in my head and then I'd go to the interview and I'd get that anxious. I couldn't even get a word out of my mouth. And I'd go into just because I built myself up. So I completely understand that, how anxiety works. And it's a kind of a thing, bro. But we all get it, but you've just got to learn to control it because it is a natural emotion.
Yeah. And it all comes down to the perspective you have around it, right? As I said before, I had such a negative relationship with it because I thought it was a bad thing. And it used to make me physically sick. Like I'd be vomiting and stuff to try and get out of going to new places. And I remember having this conversation once and the person goes, like, why are you anxious? Like when anxiety arises, it's a sign of something that you need to go towards.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not a bad thing.
And face it, because if you run away from it, then you sort of push it to the side. You push it to the side and then that's when you start feeling worse. Yeah. When you feel anxious, you understand yourself. Why am I feeling anxious? And then you deal with that problem then and there.
That's it. And there's also been studies that correlate anxiety with excitement as well.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like, are you really anxious or are you excited?
Yeah, that's right.
And even if you are anxious, and you're just in your head saying, no, I'm actually excited. Like it's that mindset shift is going to make a huge difference as well.
True, my bro. Very, very true. Very, very true.
You've mentioned Russell a few times now.
Yeah.
And I know it's still raw, still recent. What are some of the lessons that man taught you?
Yeah. He taught me a lot. You know, I guess we both taught each other a lot. You know, he taught me. The biggest thing Russell was big on his time. He was always on time. You know, he said if someone wasn't on time with him, he hated it because he goes, I've lost that much time. I don't want to lose any more. He just taught me what a true friend is. He taught me what a true friend is, you know, and what a best mate is. And I see what a best mate is. It's not the person that you've known for the longest. It's the person that's walked into your life, showed you that they're there for you, and they've proved it. That's what Russell taught me. And Russell was that friend. I never heard Russell say a bad word about anyone. Because if he, you know what I mean? And I've got that same motto, and that's why we connected. If I don't have anything nice to say, I'm not going to say it at all. You know, I'm big on positivity, man. I'm a massive advocate for it.
And people come into your life for a specific reason, for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
And when you lose someone, it is hard. I know you've lost a fair few people in your life.
Heaps.
How do you deal with grief? That's a big thing that people struggle with. Well, and just to add on to that, with the passing of Russell, have you grieved that?
Absolutely. I dealt with it. And, you know, when people ask me, how are you going? I said, I'm going as good as I need to, as good as I possibly can be. Because over the period of my life, and I will probably get back into it at a later stage, I've lost a lot of people. And what got me into my rock bottom is when I lost people, I went about it the wrong way. And when I went away to work on myself, it was like an Indigenous retreat, which is rehab, where I really worked on myself, learned to love myself, learned to understand myself. And if I needed to cry, I cried. If I needed to talk to someone, I would talk to them. You know, I never bottled anything up. I don't bottle anything up now. I'm so in tune with myself now. I can't explain the feeling how at peace with myself I am now. My body, my mind, my soul, man, I'm all in tune. You know, but if I didn't deal with myself, I don't know, honestly. A week after Russell, I lost my best mate from high school too. And I truly say this, I reckon I wouldn't have done anything to harm myself, but I don't know if I'd be here. I wouldn't be here, sitting here in one way or another.
Really?
Absolutely, 100%. Well, within 2 weeks, I lost two of my best mates. If I was to get married, 2 out of the 5 people, my best man and probably the bloke standing next to him, passed away. I wouldn't be here. But I am. You know, I am. But the thing is as well, Nick, is we're all going to die. You're going to die. I'm going to die. Everyone's going to die. And I wake up every single morning and I've got this mindset. I truly do. I said, I'm here. Let's go. Let's make the most of it. You know the old expression, live every day as if it's your last. It's an old cliche moment. I swear I've got it installed in me. I truly live by that motto. I wake up and I say, I'm here. I look at myself in the mirror. I said, I'm going to have a good day today. I'm going to have a good day today. And I mean it. I say, I'm going to have a fucking good day today. You know, because a thing as well, people say, oh, what are you doing next week? I don't even worry about that. I said, what am I doing today? And let's go. I live in the moment, because at any moment, Nick, bang, we can be gone. And I've lost that many people that I completely understand that. You know, a question that I ask, if someone that was dead came back and if we asked them, what advice would you give to someone that's alive? I've never asked them that question, but I reckon they'd say, live and love and laugh every single moment of every single day, because you don't know when it's gone. I'm sure you've probably lost people too. We don't know if we're going to live till we're 25, 30, till we're 80. We all think, oh, what are you going to do when you're older? When I'm older, what am I going to do now? And live in that moment, because you could be gone in 1 year. I could be. I might be gone tomorrow. Who knows? But I'm here now and I'm making the most of it.
That's it. Yeah, I did a very deep podcast about a couple of weeks ago with Ahmed Hirachi. Yeah. Now, I don't know if you've heard of him, but he works at the cemetery and he buries bodies every day, from babies up to 90, 80-year-olds, you know what? And every day he's dealing with death.
Yeah.
And that conversation really put life into perspective for me. It's like, just like you said, you don't know when your time is up.
You don't know.
Spend it with the people that you love, right? Yes. Especially for me being a father and my daughter. It's like every time I'm with her, it's like having that connection and spending the most time with her, because something, touch wood, something could happen to her, to me, to her mum, like anything like that. So spend those precious moments with them, because you just don't know.
You don't know, you know, and this is something I say as well. At the end of every phone call, regardless of who you are, I'll say I love you, or much love, or whatever it may be. Because if I'm talking to you, I've got some sort of love for you. If I didn't, I wouldn't be talking to you, because you never know the last moment. And the last thing I said, I love you, my brother. And I say that to her. Anyone that knows me knows I always say I love you, because you never know when that last moment is that you actually speak to them.
And on that, what's your relationship with death? Do you fear it?
I don't fear it, man, because you know what? I guarantee you that when I go out, people say, fuck, he loved life. He loved life, and I do, you know. But if you're in it, for anyone out there that fears it, and this is the truth, you probably don't love it. You're probably in a position of your life where you don't love it. But if you can just find that happiness within, and you've got to do the work, I had to do the work, you'll find it, and it's a good feeling. It really is.
Talk to me about doing the work, right?
Yeah.
What was that darkest period of your life for you?
Yeah.
And what was the work you did to come out to be your happy self and be little Maxie again?
Well, mate, I lost my dad. My girlfriend had cancer at the same time, and then my mum. And I don't like touching on it too much, because she's kicking goals and she's put it in her rearview vision mirror, and she doesn't focus on that. 3 of the people closest to me within 2 years, I thought I could have lost them all. My head was all over the shop. I was down and out. I was writing myself off in every single way. I gave up. I looked in the mirror and I didn't like the person I said. I talked that badly about myself. I would cry and say, I'm a piece of shit. I remember I would say I'm a piece of shit, because I hated the person I was. But the person that I was is I cared about everyone else, and I was filling up everyone else's cup. I didn't fill up my own. And a priority that everyone's got to make is, if you don't focus on yourself, no matter who you are, you've got to learn to be selfish in a way, to pour your glass up first. Otherwise, you can't be there for anyone else. And the moment that I learned to fill my own cup up first, and I say the word be selfish, it's not a selfish in a bad way, it's a good selfish, because if you can't fill up your own cup, you can't fill up anyone else's. And the day I learned to do that was the day that I could move forward.
How do you fill up your own cup? Because your energy, the content that you're putting out, you're always putting your energy into other people, right?
Yeah.
Sure, there's times where you're feeling down, you're feeling a bit drained.
Absolutely, we all
How do you fill that cup back up?
When I feel a little bit run down or a little bit stressed, I acknowledge as to why I'm feeling like that. If I feel like, I'm a bit anxious, all right? I think it was maybe 2 days ago, I actually felt a little bit anxious. I'm just go at the moment. I'm here, I'm there, I'm absolutely everywhere. I call my friend. I said, I'm feeling a little bit anxious. She said, why is that? And then she said, what have you done today? And I said, I've done this shit because you're just a bit run down. And that was a reminder for me that I'm just a bit run down. 9 out of 10 times, if I'm ever feeling stressed, I don't care what I'm doing. I go put my head on the pillow, whether it's at night, I go have a sleep that night. Or I go back and I try to put my head on the pillow, have a power nap, and I wake up feeling better. Because we'll all have moments like that. And if I ever am feeling stressed or whatnot, or I have a problem, I write the problem down, the question as to how I'm feeling, and then I ask myself that question as if someone had asked it to me, and I give that advice. Because we all give advice. You give advice, I give advice. Sometimes you give advice, you're like, geez, that was good advice. Sometimes you take your own advice, and I do that. And I think that's what I need to do. And then I go and do it.
And even the simple thing of writing it down, right? Because in our head, we contextualize it and we make it so much bigger than what it is.
Absolutely.
As soon as you write it down, it's like, why am I anxious about this?
That's so true. That's so true. But there's obviously a reason as to why you would be, But writing things down, journaling or whatever it may be, and even writing your positive things you're grateful for, I'm huge on that. and I really, really recommend it.
What are you grateful for today?
I'm grateful to be alive. You know what I mean? I'm grateful for the attitude, the positivity I've got. I'm grateful for my mum, my friends, my health, my happiness. I mean, I'm grateful from top to bottom. You know what I mean? And if there's something that I'm not ungrateful for, I get it out of my life.
Yeah, gratitude plays a huge role in your mindset and turning up as the best version of yourself. I even do it now with my daughter, right? We're driving and I'm like, hey, what are you grateful for? And she just starts naming random things. Grateful for Nan, grateful for the sun, grateful for fresh air, like, you know. And to have her such a young age practicing gratitude, it's like, it's so important.
Well, I've used this metaphor before. I obviously push this message because this is something that gets me out of a dark place. On your shoulders, you have a positive bird and a negative bird. You can wake up and think of all these things that aren't going good in your life, and that's your negative bird. And think of this as if it's a fight, your positive versus your negative. If you feed your mind, your body, your head with all the negative things going on, it overpowers that positive bird. You end up having a bad day. Or if you build this positive one and you talk for all the things that you're grateful for, it grows bigger, and it's bigger than that negative one. You end up having a bad day. So if you find yourself a bit down, a bit stressed, or whatever it may be, think, you know what I'm doing? I must be sitting here focusing on my car reg or all these negative things that are going on in your life, and you're not even feeding that positive bird. And sometimes you need that reminder. Find a friend, your mum, your dad, your best mate, or someone that you're on par with regarding your mindset, or maybe even watching a video like mine where I give this advice and use it as a gentle reminder. You know, I want to tell you one story. I was out at dinner about 6 months ago, and I was sitting there with my friend having dinner. This bloke walks up to me, and he looks at me, and it was like he saw a ghost. And he goes, Beery. And he just come, I didn't even say a word off that, and he just hugged me. And this is a bloke I've never met before, and he's hugging me for about 2 minutes, and I'm talking excruciating crying. I said, what's going on? And he told me his story. And I said, I gave him some advice. I said, he goes, man, I've been drinking since I'm 14. I said, how old are you? He goes, I'm 18. He goes, I'm in a really dark patch. He goes, man, I watch your videos all the time. He goes, mate, you've saved my life. I said, well, mate, you're in a position now. He goes, what advice can you give me? I said, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. You need to get rid of any toxic people out of your life. You need to stop any toxicity that's in your life and focus on the positive things around you. I said, because we've all got trauma, grief, you know, loss that we could focus on in our past. But anyway, so that was one moment. The next day I went and did a video about it. 6 months later, which was about 3 days ago from today, I'm going through a message and I thought, you know what, I'm going to check on my, you know, like those messages, the junk messages. And a lot of my messages do go there, spam messages. And it was that kid. And he'd sent me about 6 messages giving me progress. He goes, man, every video you put up, I've been watching and I've been taking that advice. He goes, you've saved my life. I've been off the alcohol, the drugs now for 4 months. He goes, due to your positivity. He goes, I thank you. And I got his number and I called him. I've been speaking to him and I'm going to be catching up with him tomorrow. You know, and to know that I'm having an impact on some of these people without actually knowing is crazy. You know, Nick, because look, I might be known in the public eye now, whatever it may be, but I don't say that in a cocky way, but that's the truth just from my social media. But to know that I'm having that positive impact is the best feeling in the world. I don't do my stuff to be cool or to be famous or anything like that. I want to change lives and I want to be able to help people that might be in a dark patch or might need a smile, just like I needed when I was in my dark patch. You know, because crime, youth, or whatever it may be now, they might be, if you watch, say, someone on social media that gets involved in drugs, gangs, whatever it may be, and that's your role model, you'll end up like that. But the more positive role models we have, the better our youth is going to be. And I'm huge on helping our youth out to change our generations for my kids and my kids' kids.
You have a healing energy, brother.
Yeah.
Healing energy. Man, what's your purpose?
My purpose is just to put smiles on faces and help people. They're my two things. They're my two passions. They're putting smiles on faces and helping people.
With the work that you've done, you know, it's a lot of spiritual work, right? To get down to that core.
Yeah.
Are you spiritual? Are you a man of faith? Like, what are your beliefs there?
Brother, I went to an Indigenous rehab and I'm Māori, so we're Indigenous as well. But I put it down to just learning to open up, learning to communicate, being real, being raw, being vulnerable, and just getting rid of that mask. And everyone will be able to, when you say, what's the mask? That mask when you pretend you're having a good day when you're not. Things are going good when they're not. And I'll tell you a story about when I was in rehab, and this is what saved my life. We went around a table, and it was a table of about 30 blokes. 90% of them have just come from jail, all right? Anyways, and it would go around the circle, and it would get to me. And I know how to talk, but at the time, I never knew how to talk about what was in here. It would get to me, and I'd say, I'm not looking to share today, thank you. And this was for 3 weeks, and the boys would sort of think, you sweet. But the reason is, looking back at it now, I never knew how to. The moment that I learned to be able to open up, talk, communicate, and when I started to, I just started and I thought, or like, hi guys, I'm Max, and I would stutter and whatnot because I'd never done it before. I'd never shown that vulnerability. But the more you did it, the better it got. And the better it got, the better I felt. So now if I need to cry or open up, talk, and now I still go back to that rehab and I run group with them, group on positivity, lifting them up. I was there the other day and it's full of criminals, people done decades of jail. I'm not saying that that's cool, but people think that they're a tough guy, which they're not. But you know, that's how they're perceived. I had about 4 of them come up to me and just cry and say thank you, you know, and
what's that feeling like when someone comes up to you and gives you that hug and thank you, like you've helped me, you've had an impact on my life?
It's the best feeling in the world. It's the best feeling in the world because I'll tell you something, the biggest thing that I would speak to them about is when you're at a dark place or in a dark place or not doing well, you push that negativity out on other people. So I said to them, which they're all in addiction or whatever it may be, I said, focus on, get used to complimenting people, lifting people up. And when you find yourself bringing someone down, that means that you're obviously jealous of what they've got and you're in a dark place because you will never see someone put you down that's doing better than you. It's always the people that aren't doing so good. And I'm not taking anything away from anyone, but anyone that puts people down knows that it's just this inside hate that they might have within themselves or some sort of work that they've got to do. And I've got an example I can give, but it's, yeah.
In those dark times, I believe we need to draw strength from something. Whether that's through faith or spirituality or something, right?
Yeah.
What do you draw strength from?
Look, I guess I always say that my body, mind and soul, what do I draw strength from? I guess my growth.
Yeah.
My growth. I look at my growth, you know, and I draw strength from that.
Because for me, I believe there's God, there's a higher power, and I draw strength from that in those dark times because I believe our path is written, right? Our life's written. We just got to navigate through it somehow and figure it out. There's no point stressing about all the small things in life because what's meant to happen is going to happen anyways, right? In those dark times, if you can have something that you can draw that strength from, we speak about, you know, mental health and suicide rates because these men, a lot of men feel like the world's on their shoulders. They have to do everything on them by themselves. They don't have that faith, that someone to lean on. That higher power to draw strength from. And I think we all need that. Whatever it is, whatever it is for you, find what works for you, but we all need that strength to draw from.
You know what, going back to that, sorry, I did answer the question wrong there. Going back to what was my, it was my higher power would be, I look up and I'm not that religious, but it's something that I've actually have been diving into. You know, I went to a Catholic school, but I never sort of, you know what I mean? My higher power would be, I looked up when I was in a dark place, when I was in rehab, and I would speak to my dad. I would look at my dad and I would ask him for the question, or ask him to give me that strength. But regardless whether you're Muslim, you're Catholic, you're whatever you are, it is important to have a higher power in one way or another because it does help. You
said you're diving into that. What's that journey been like? Because I'm on the same journey now. I never really grew up religious or anything, but for me, it's like, why are we on this earth? Like, you know, what's our purpose here? There has to be something higher than us.
I won't say what religion it is, but it's a very passionate and a very powerful religion that I have been sort of investing in, you know, and I'm only early days in my journey, which I won't say now, but I guess it just gives me that, makes me feel more in tune, but I'm only early days in it because that was something that was missing from my life, you know?
Yeah, I feel like if it allows you to, you know, just be your true self, be a good human, do good deeds. Like, there's nothing wrong.
But when you say be yourself, that's so true. Everyone should be their self, you know? Like, regardless of what you are, I don't know the exact way to explain it, but maybe in a year's time after we pass away, we're just a memory. We're just a sort of photo someone's got. In 5 years' time, really, we're right in the back of someone's mind. And in 10 years' time, probably you know what I mean? Our kids won't even know who we are. And then our kids' as time goes on. So if you're living your life to impress other people, you're living the wrong life. Regardless of what you do, people are going to have an opinion because that's the way life goes. But just do what makes you happy and live within yourself because it's your life. It is your life. So if you're in a bad relationship or you're unhappy at your job or you don't like the sporting team you're in, leave and go to one where you are happy because life's so short.
That's it. And on that, you know, we don't want to live life to impress others, but how do you want to be remembered when your time's up?
Just for the bubbly, happy, positive person that I am, you know? And like you would probably, you know, you would have seen me on social media, man. Is my energy any different?
No. I think it's probably a bit extra.
Well, that's, you know, like, and that's the biggest thing is when people meet me, they're like, wow, like you're actually like that. And I'm like, yeah. And like some people will go to me, I will be on TikTok, they'll be like, oh, you're off your head. And I look at those people, I think my first answer where I just block any negativity out, but I think in my head, you obviously need to be able to be happy. Do you know what I mean? Like I was at a stage years ago where I needed outside resources to make me happy. But now I'm just high on life. It's a fucking good feeling, man.
Bro, it's awesome, man. Yeah. Because as you said, people look at people like yourself and go, this guy must be on drugs for a bit. Because it's not normal to be happy.
That's right.
And it's like, how are we as a society to think that way because we're all depressed? You know what I mean?
Well, you know what? Look, I want to go on that topic of positivity. If I was to sit here and give you 99 compliments, you'd probably say, oh, thank you, Beery. But if I was to say one negative thing to you, the power of that negative, that would probably take most of your attention. And keep in mind, I would have just given you 99 compliments and then I go at you with one negative thing. I want to make our society, community, it more normalized to lift people up, to compliment people. You know what I mean? If you got something bad to say, don't say it at all. But if you do, it's that inner hate, it's jealousy or whatever it may be within yourself. And I guarantee you, I've got an addiction to complimenting people because I know for a fact if someone compliments my mum, she'll tell me about it straight away. So I love that feeling of going out and complimenting people in one way or another, regardless of. I came straight in this room, I said, mate, this studio is unbelievable. And you would have thought, thank you. But if I came in here and thought, fuck, bro, this is shit, I don't have I couldn't even find a negative to give you. But if I did, that would play on your mind. And I don't want to make you feel like that. I want to make you feel good because I know how good I feel when people make me feel good or people make my mum feel when they compliment her. I don't want to ruin anyone's day. I want to make it and I focus on that.
Yeah, I was just about to say, you are a man of many compliments, that's for sure. Every time we jumped on the phone today and then you see your social media and you're complimenting everyone, right? Where do you get the confidence to do that?
Well, I do. It's just natural.
Yeah?
It really is natural. I probably stems back from my mum. Like I know I'm a real mama's boy and if someone compliments my mum in any way, shape or form, she vents to me how good it makes her feel. And I want to do nothing more in my life than make my mum feel good, be happy, be proud. And that's the biggest compliment that I could have, my mum being proud of me whenever she says that.
And how important is the skill of communication, right?
It's huge.
For myself, before I even started this podcast, I couldn't even communicate properly with people, right? Because I let anxiety take over, the fear of judgment.
Yeah.
Now, just by simply learning how to communicate, it opens up so many doors, right? You gain so much confidence.
You do.
What advice do you give to someone who's in their shell right now? They know they got this energy that, hey, I want to have an impact. I want to do something with my life, but I'm scared.
Well, the fear of judgment can stop you from achieving and living your life to the full. If you live your life with the fear of judgment, you won't live your life. So the sooner that you stop comparing yourself to other people, the better your life's going to be. If I was to say, I can't go to the gym because I'm not as strong as I was, people are going to look at me and think, geez, Beery's not that strong. I probably won't go to the gym. Or if you think, I'm going to do a podcast, but I might not be as good as Joe Rogan, you ended up doing a podcast. If you're going to compare yourself to anyone, compare yourself to the man that you were yesterday. And that man you were yesterday looked to be better than him every single day that goes on. Don't try to be someone you're not. Just be yourself. That's who you are. That's who you're born to be.
Every day, just 1% better.
Absolutely. It's the only person you ever compare yourself to in life.
That's it. And coming back to, negative comments, I did a post yesterday around, life's hard, but we get to choose our hard.
True, brother.
You can, like this morning we went out, we did our training session. That was hard. That was tough. Or you can sit on the lounge, eat junk food and get sick.
That's true.
Or you can be a present father and that's hard.
Yeah.
Or not be in the situation and have your kids have resent towards you, right? Life's hard.
Yeah.
You've got to pick your hard.
Yeah.
And someone commented going, if you've gone through, what was it? Wow. Wow. Oh, you're out of the studio right now.
One of my favourite songs.
The person commented, if life's hard, why are we having children just to put them through the same old crud?
Yeah, that's right. That's so true. It's a good quote.
It's like,
yeah.
Just because I said life's hard doesn't mean it's bad.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we all have a reason as to why we should do something, but we all have a reason as to why we should. Why? You know what I mean? I don't want to go to the gym today. I feel tired. But then you can focus on, I want to go to the gym because I want to feel better. Do you know what I mean? I want to go to the gym because I want to look better. And then again, that's your most powerful tool in the body is your brain. And that's the negative and the positive bird. I'm a bit tired today. Oh, fuck, I'm going to feel good after. You can decide. The more you train that, you know what I mean? In any situation that you go through, think of those two birds, the positive bird, the negative bird. And the more you train that one to be positive, the more in situations like that, you'll excel to the positive side.
It's just like you have you know, the dark line and the light line is like whatever one you feed is where the energy is going to go.
That's right.
If you continue to feed the dark one, you're just going to full of negative energy.
You will, man. Look, I don't even. The dark one, it's not even invited. It don't even have an invitation to the party. It tries to come to my party, the bouncers kick it straight out.
Maxie, you're a mama's boy.
I am.
How much does that woman mean to you? I know she gave birth to you.
It means a lot. You know what? How much it means to me, man, I can't explain to you, because we've all got a mum, and you know, whether you don't have a mum that, you know what I mean, you're connected to, you might have had a nan or an auntie or someone that raised you. You know, I'm big on pushing that thing. If I ever see someone try to bring their mum down or that person that they raised him, you got to remember, she brought me into this world. You know, and as they get older, a lot of people, they distance themselves from, they forget about their mum, or who might be at the retirement home, who might be at home just lonely, but they're the one that brought us into this world. You know what I mean? My mum, through thick and thin, regardless whether I'm doing good or bad, has been someone that's by my side. You know what I mean? And look, it might not be someone's mum. It might be your best friend. It might be your dad. It might be your brother. Find that person that's there by your side and be by their side. You know what I mean? Because I say this, if you're going to try to do something on your own, you wash your hands. And I use this metaphor all the time. When you wash your hands, you don't wash like that. You wash it with two hands so you can do a good job. My mum's been by my side through thick and thin. I would not be here without her.
Yeah. Shout out to all the mums out there.
Shout out to all the mums out there. You know?
I love my mum. I'm a big mama's boy myself. Yeah. And even with this podcast, she's like the number one supporter. I remember when I lived at home and she used to play it out loud, and I was like, Mum, why are you playing it out? It's so cringe. But you know that they're always in your corner. They're always supporting you through thick and thin.
There's no bond like it. You know, there's no bond like it. And I'm just grateful she's here. Every morning I call her. I call her constantly. I tell her how much I love her. I would sound like a broken record, you know, because we never know when it's going to be the last time. But she would never know as well.
Love all the mums out there, man.
That's right.
No, it just puts me in a place of just gratitude. Because people, they don't understand how much mums, dads, like your parents do for you, you know?
I want to say something about mums. I respect all mums that go through that change, put their body through what it was to how it becomes, and then what it is. Man, they motivate me. And they motivate me to think, you know what, if I'm out of shape, fuck, that's no excuse. Look at some of these mums and what they've done and what they've achieved. Do you know what I mean? I can get through anything.
Beery, for anyone that's listening out there, they're young, they're going through some struggles or anything, what's one piece of advice or something that you would want to share with them right now?
Regardless of who you are, how tough you think you are, how cool or popular, get rid of that mask. Learn to be real and raw within yourself. Understand that we all have good days, we all have bad days. And when you're having those bad days, don't fight it, because if you push that bad day to the side, you might be able to only do that for a few days, but then that bad day will catch up with you. Could be a week, could be a month, could be in a year. And when it does, man, that will be released in the wrong way. Don't walk around trying to be a tough cunt. Just be a good cunt. You'll go so much further in life. It's so much easier now, and I will give that advice to my kids. Make a friend rather than an enemy. Don't put someone down, lift someone up. That's the advice I'd give to people.
We have a closing tradition on the podcast where the previous guest leaves a question for the next guest.
Yeah.
Now, the question for you is, at the end of the day, when you're all done and dusted, your time's up on this earth, what has your life happiness looked like?
Well, it's been obviously a roller coaster, but at my happiness, it's going up and up, you know. And I look at life as a roller coaster because we're all on this journey where it's part of swings and part of roundabouts, you know, and it's looking good. And I truly say this, Nick, I sit here so happy within myself. And if my videos, my message, my positivity can help anyone that's watching me in one way, shape or form, I've done my job. You know what I mean? And back to that advice to the kids is, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. You are who you surround yourself with. You want to hang around people that want to go out and get in fights, you'll end up doing that. You want to hang around 5 people that go out and are positive people or train, lift people up, you'll do that as well. You know, but how's my life looking? It's looking positive, man, and it's never looked better. It's never looked better.
Beery, this has probably been the fastest, as in energy, like you 100 miles an hour. Yeah. But man, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I'm so grateful that you made the trip out here, because when you first told me you were in traffic, you could have easily said, man, I'm not going to make it, turn around. And I was like, bro, you can postpone if you want. You're like, nah, I made a commitment and I'm here. And it shows the man that you are. So, man, thank you. And I'm so grateful for you.
Thank you so much, my man. I really appreciate it, my brother. Thank you, Nick. Good man. Thank you.